Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Talking Nerdy. And today we are covering Avatar 2, The Way of Water. We literally just got out of the theaters, watched it tonight, and we have a lot to say about this movie.
We technically watched it yesterday.
Is it after midnight?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, we see it's the next day. We seen it yesterday.
This is the latest we've ever recorded, so
It's true. A first. Yeah.
the first of many. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's very late, but we are excited because we want to get as much information out to you as quick as possible while it's still fresh in our minds, and that was the goal, the task, and Justin's still stealing the glasses from the show.
Oh yeah, these are the 3D glasses still. We've got the popcorn. We've got our drinks with the toys on them.
We both got cool toys.
We did. We did. They're both cool. They're both cool. Mine's from the second movie. Yours is possibly from the first movie.
We don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah.
We think mine's a young horse from the first movie.
Yeah.
Oh no, they're in the second movie.
They're in the second one.
Not the babies though.
Yeah. It's cool though.
It's not.
So
it's not fair.
If you get the collector's package, whatever it is, you get the tin, the cup with a toy, and they're both refillable. You know what I didn't like though? That left me hungry in the theaters. Both of these are smaller than
I
the
agree.
largest.
I know. Rachel told me, she goes, Colby, for someone who tries to be efficient, you chose wrong.
Yeah.
And I was
right? I can see it. But I did ask the guy, I was like, these are refillable? And he's like, yeah, these are considered larges. And then I'm looking over at the large tub. I'm like, this is not a large, dude. But okay. And I was kind of only okay with it because I thought there was an intermission in this movie. So I was like, I'll go refill it.
yeah. Fine. So someone told us, I don't remember who.
The internet lies.
Yeah, the internet lies.
Never trust the internet.
That there was a intermission. So 2 hours in. Any second now. But yeah, no, it was very long, but it was very good. You also got a pin, I saw.
I did. Yep. A little Avatar pin.
Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that?
You donate to.
That's weird.
I already forgot. You donate to Variety, the children's charity who helps kids who have special needs, and when you do that, you get a Avatar pin.
Nice. That's I didn't do that.
No, but I did.
And that's why you got the pin.
Yeah, it's cool. A little blue
kids in the back.
Avatar.
There's the QR code if anyone wants to do that.
Get some more information on it.
Yeah.
It's a little blue Avatar heart with the logo on it. But yeah, it was fun. We walked away with tons of stuff, like Avatar memorabilia and whatnot.
Of course, you got to fill it up when you leave.
You got to. Yep, we did.
Even if you're not going to eat it, you have to fill it up when you leave.
You got to make it worth the money you're paying.
Yeah.
But, dude, so long movie.
Very long.
It says 3 hours and 10 minutes, but you are at the theaters for way longer than 3 hours and 10 minutes because you get there at the movie time. There's a half an hour of trailers, and then just kind of working your way through. It's a packed theater, so getting through when you're all done. You're there for 3.5 to 4 hours. 4 hours.
Yeah, we were there for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, just a lot going on there, but it was very good. I actually do wish there was an intermission.
Would have been nice.
Because, you're sitting down for like 3-4 hours. The only stretching I got was when people I needed to get out.
I've never had that many people like have to get up and go to the bathroom, like, right?
I agree.
But it was a long movie. I get it.
I understand why you have to get up and move, but I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it so much, man.
That Imax theater doesn't have like the really wide rows and stuff. So for somebody to get by, you were getting up so they can get past.
Yep. And I felt like I was dropping everything, and other than that though, I had no complaints other than taking a break for a minute. But
yeah. No, good movie. We were really pumped to see how technology is advanced because we know James Cameron's been working on a bunch of stuff behind the scenes to elevate Avatar 2 on the 3D side of things, and it was pretty incredible.
It was.
Yeah. You still have to wear the glasses. There was rumors online that you might not have needed to, and that was
definitely
another
needed
thing.
to. I tested it out a couple of times.
Right.
You still need the glasses.
What's crazy is the underwater scenes. You could pull them off and kind of get away with it. It didn't look good, but it didn't look like the 3D really blurry.
Yeah.
Until it was land and you take them off and it just looked like garbage.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if it's because of high frame rate or whatever, but yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I tried a couple times. I was like, okay, you could probably get away with it in certain moments, but not.
No.
You would be like the whole time if you tried the whole time. But
So we're reunited with Sully and the family. He's got
Sully and Neytiri.
And Neytiri, yep. So Sully and Neytiri, they have a family now. So from this moment forward, it is gonna be spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. It's really good. You're not gonna be disappointed. But if you don't care about what we're about to talk about, continue on. Or if you've already seen it, continue on.
Yeah.
Because maybe we'll point out stuff you didn't think about or notice and whatnot. But Jake and Neytiri, they've got 3 kids now. There's more, but their biological kids I'm gonna butcher these names.
Yeah, I know the names are tough.
Yeah.
We thought Game of Thrones was hard. This is tough.
Yeah, you got Netayam, which is the oldest son, and then you have Loak, their second son, and then they don't really call her this, but Tuktiri.
Mm-hmm.
They just call her Tuk in the movie.
I love it. That's what kind of name we like.
I like it. It's nice and simple.
Tuk.
And that's their daughter. But, and this is where spoilers kind of start happening, is they also kind of have 2 other kids. One kid they get at the very end of the movie. But do you guys remember the female scientist in the first movie? She passed away, and they gave her body back to Awa and whatnot, her energy and life force. Well, they used her avatar because the avatars themselves carry memories and stuff like that. So they used Awa to upload the scientist's information and kind of. They don't really cover like exactly.
No,
how.
They said she was kind of like how would they say, like a gift.
Right.
Like a gift. Her name's Kiri, and she's just kind of like a gift, like a special circumstance. They didn't get into it exactly because it didn't make sense.
And they even kind of poke at that. Like the kids are like, "Who's the dad? Like, what's going on?"
Yeah, she's been asked about the dad multiple times. So I'm sure we'll find out in Avatar 3 or 4 or 5, whatever.
Maybe.
But, it's gonna be a question they're gonna.
She's obviously a big deal.
She is the big deal.
Yeah, she's the big. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's something I. Just remind me of her and Awa later.
Yeah. Okay.
I think she is a big deal.
She is the deal.
Yeah. So Sigourney Weaver's character is now, she voices Kiri.
Okay. Have an issue with this.
Yes.
Let's start off the bat. She does not sound like a teenager.
Not at all.
Why not recast her?
Why not cast a kid who kind of sounds like
a teenager?
Yeah.
Not a 60-something, 70-year-old. Rachel leans to me. She goes, "That sounds like a grandma."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What? I didn't think about that." And then I started listening. I'm like, that's not a kid.
Sigourney Weaver, great actress, cannot voice a teenager girl.
Threw me off a lot. So that was one gripe. I don't know why they didn't recast, but they're smarter than us. So what do we know?
Sure, right? Had to keep her on the bill somehow.
Thought it was a little off.
Anytime she has a scene, it throws it off. And it also visually kind of throws it off because her character looks so much like the scientist.
Yeah.
Just shrunken down a miniature.
Yep.
Almost like when they try to make somebody look really young in a movie.
Yep.
It's kind of like that effect.
Yeah, it did like a young version of her morphed with an avatar.
Yeah. Yep. So her scenes, Tiri scenes, not Tiri. I'm thinking of Tuk, but Kiri scenes will throw you off in this movie, but get past it because she's got an amazing role in this movie, and the rest of the movie is flawless.
She's like the ultimate hippie, I think.
Yeah. One with the earth and one with nature and everything.
She is total tree hugger.
If there's a window licker in this movie, it's her.
That's her.
She's staring
but
at
she's still a good character. Not saying we don't like window lickers.
No, they're great.
Or tree huggers.
They got a place.
They do.
Yeah. But so they got a family now. And you get to see Jake and them kind of doing stuff with the kids. They talk about the kids and how their family's grown.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken on Kiri because Kiri technically doesn't have any parents.
She doesn't have a family.
No. Yeah. No family at all. She's somehow gifted to this world. And so they took her in. And there's this other kid whose name is Spider. I'm not going to reveal his parent just yet. But it's actually, let's back it up. So what they show you at the start of this movie is so after that whole war, after they won and everything, every sky, what do they call Sky people? Sky people. All the people from Earth, the Sky people, were evacuated off the planet by the Na'vi.
Not all.
The scientists or the people that were really close to the Na'vi got to stay.
and kids
Oh yeah, because children
cannot go through cryogenic freezing.
Cryostasis.
Cryo,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
Whatever.
But yeah, they couldn't be cryogenically frozen.
Yeah.
It would be too
So they
hard on
couldn't
the
go
body.
back, so they had to stay back.
Yep. And so the ones that had to stay were raised by either the scientist or the Na'vi. And this one in particular, Spider, was raised around the Na'vi. And so he's very like Tarzan-like.
He's definitely Tarzan. That's Spider's Tarzan.
Yeah, right? He's a cool, interesting character who also is probably going to play another big part.
He is definitely going to play a big part. I could see him just randomly. I don't know if we can give this up now. I could see him jump. He's either going to jump ship.
Oh, dang it. Now that you say that.
He's either going to jump ship or he's going to bring someone else on the other side.
He could be a modern day Anakin Skywalker.
He's going to lose his arms?
And get burnt up and stuff. Maybe. But there's conflict in him.
There is.
And there's conflict right from the get-go because he's an outsider. He's not part of the Na'vi. They make fun of him, but they do hang out with him and show him, he hangs out with them.
Gosh, I want to say something, but I don't want to forget about it, but I want to say it really quick. Can I say it real quick?
Sure,
It's
go
at
for
the
it.
very end.
Oh, which part? Not with his his parents.
No. After at the very end, he the Sullys are all together as a family, and he shows up out of the water.
Yeah.
And he shows up. No one greets him. It takes him like a minute to greet him. And this is why I think he's jumping, because but then after
the scene with Neytiri.
yeah, that's why I think he's jumping.
Oh, all right. We're gonna get into that. There's a pretty big pivotal moment,
Yeah,
maybe in Spider's story arc. Dang it! I think we're right.
We are right.
Yeah. But so you're seeing. They want to show you a different side. They want to show you what has happened since the first movie, but how everybody in Pandora has kind of went back to their old ways.
Mm-hmm.
There's still technology.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But they're keeping it at a minimum, and it's the planet has thrived without the military group there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
They've used their military advancements to their benefit.
Yep. So everybody's got a Boost Mobile.
I don't know if everyone does.
walkie-talkie.
I think it's just his family.
Oh, I do think it is just his family. Yeah. So they've got these necklaces where they can just touch and they can talk to another person wearing the necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably costs like $22 million.
There is some serious wrong stuff with numbers in this movie, but we'll get into that. So essentially, you get caught up. It explains why now there's kids of all different ages and whatnot. And then, so while they're having a moment, they're taking pictures, they're just having fun. There's a scene where Sully's looking up at the sky with Neytiri, and he's like, "Hold on, there's a new star in the sky," and he's like, "That can only be one thing." He's like, "The sky people are back."
Yep.
And sure as heck,
So that's like 15, 20 years, we're guessing? 20 years maybe?
has passed.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe it's 13. No, the kids are older than that.
Yeah, it's probably about that though. It's 10 to.
I'd say, well, the kids look like 16, 17, 16 to 14.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll say 15 years, roughly.
Yeah.
It could be 13 because that's the placement, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
that's-
so about that much time has passed, and so yeah, everybody's thriving. But yeah, so the Earth people or Sky people are coming back, and it is not just a few. It is like a re-invasion of the planet.
Yes, it is. It's a lot of them.
They're resetting up base. They're sending tons of materials and troops and everything, and so they all come landing down. Well, all the thrusters of all these different ships and things just set ablaze to the forest.
Yeah, no, it like looks like a bomb went off, like napalm just.
It does, dude. Animals, trees, all this stuff is just getting incinerated in its wake.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff, and you were wondering like why. I'm starting to think that was on purpose from the Sky people.
Just for a statement, yeah.
Yeah, for like you can't like if you land, there's not that. Like if they just drop whatever, like a ship or whatever down, they could like surround it and stuff like that. But if they do this, no one can surround it because they kind of know how they're everywhere. So they kind of know that they're gonna be safe for a little bit.
And they know at least the clan they've dealt with in the past is forest people. So if you burn up that forest, they're scattering.
Yep. So I think that was planned.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
That would make more sense to me.
So they
Don't drop your pin thing.
Yeah, I got to support the charity. So they come all crash landing back down, and we get reunited with some old faces.
Well, not yet.
Okay, what happens after that?
No, I'm just kidding. But right after that, after they land, it jumps a year.
Oh, you're right. I apologize.
No, it's all good because
Yep.
it just happened.
Yep.
They jump a year really quick.
Yeah.
So when they jumped a year, to me, I understand they jumping a year, but if I was Jake Sully and his clan, the Matkala, whatever, I butchered that one, I would have been on the attack right away.
100%, because you know it's like a virus that's going to spread.
You have to stop it immediately.
Yep.
So after the year's up, do they show the town? No, they don't show the town. They show the train next.
The train, yeah. So
Okay.
a year has gone by, and they've already established roadways again. They've got railways again.
It's way more complex than it was, though.
Yeah.
Way more.
And for that reason, I 100% think Sully would have thought, like, realistically would have thought that out and been like, they're landing. We need to pick them off as they're coming down, or like soon as they get out, just so this does not become an issue.
And instantly when they land, again, with the fire, you would think that Awa would feel it and send them again. Send all the animals, because this is a bigger threat than it was before.
It is. And I don't know why that didn't happen, because they do talk about how when the military goes into certain zones, AWA sends all the animals to attack. You just did huge damage to AWA's like network and all the animal life and stuff.
And just let them be.
Yeah, doesn't make sense.
Kind of like, it doesn't make sense to me, but that's our opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe we're wrong. You tell us.
So a year has gone by. The military from Earth and all these people have gotten a whole year to establish colony and set up camp and everything. And yeah, like you said, the infrastructure is just way more massive than it was before. So after the year has gone by, you see a train hauling materials or whatever going by, and the Na'vi, the Forest Clan, are they're now on the attack, and maybe they've been on the attack this whole time, but probably not.
Seems like they're raiding parties. It seems like they're raiding parties, and it reminded me of like what's that one show?
Mandalorian?
Yes.
Yeah, where they're picking off the train.
Yep,
and
picking
stuff.
up the train.
Yeah, so whenever the military ventures out a little too far out of bounds, they're picking off of that. And so that's what's going on here. They blow up the train tracks. The train ends up just going butt over face.
And no one in it. No one to kill.
I know, right? But it was full of ammo and guns and stuff. So all the Na'vi get armed up. You get to see Jake's kids, the first trouble that they get into, but they're part of they're supposed to be on watch to see if any bogies or planes come by and stuff. They're like, no, we want to get in there, get some guns and stuff. So they fly down, get some guns, and lo and behold, there's a plane that comes in and just starts shooting at them, but nobody was on watch to warn anybody.
They should have more than 2 kids watching.
They shouldn't have had just kids. Yeah.
Let's just be real for a second.
Kids get distracted. Oh,
Squirrel.
goldfish. Yeah.
Yeah. So, they put all this pressure on these 2 kids who don't realize how important their duty is because it's just 2 kids. But here's why I think it was 2 kids, because they have those things so they can relay really quick.
True. Yeah. Which would make sense. Send them up in the sky or put those things on somebody else that can...
Yeah, and I think Jake Sully kind of screws up a little bit by not telling him how important their job is.
Sure.
I think that's part of it too. Be like, hey, if they come, you can relay me really quick. I think he had to dumb it down for his kids. Yeah. I know they want to help, but by
And they've never experienced this before. They don't actually know the threat level. Yeah.
Threat level midnight.
So they're all getting armed up and stuff, and it's the youngest that wants to go down to the ground and get the guns. The oldest brother is supposed to be on watch, but while they're down there, ends up getting blasted and injured and whatnot. And this is kind of like those 2 boys' story arc through this movie.
Is one the middle child, Loak.
Yeah,
the
he's
young
a troublemaker.
The younger brother, Loak, always just wants to. He's not. I don't know if he's a troublemaker. I think he's curious.
Curious and wants to find his place and stuff.
Yeah. He feels like an outsider. Yeah. He's just curious, and he doesn't do it to get in trouble. He just does it because he wants to know what his place is. He's not the soldier that his brother is.
Yeah.
He's not that guy. Kind of like Jake Sully isn't just a soldier. He wanted to find his place. His younger son is more like him than his older one. Even his older one emulates him. But Jake Sully went outside the norm to do what he did.
I'd 100% agree with that. Yeah, that middle child is pretty much just like Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the oldest one just took mostly the warrior aspect.
didn't go into the fact that he, did all his fears, went away from his people. He did what he went with his heart.
Yep.
So
I agree. And so so they flee. They regroup back to their camp, and then so pretty much like Jake has a talk with his kids, and he's just like, look, you guys are being reckless, carelessness. You guys need to stay at the camp. Well, that doesn't last long.
No,
because the kids venture back out. This time they've got everybody. They've got Kiri, they've got Spider, they've got the youngest Took with them.
Yep.
And they just go venturing out in the woods, and they stumble across Site 26.
Yep, Site 26.
Which, if you remember, that's where Sully, that's where
Neytiri fight the Colonel.
True. Yeah, same spot where Sully would link up to become his avatar when they had to get away from the military group and whatnot. So at this wreckage is the exoskeleton suit with the Colonel's body bones.
Yep, everything there. Everything just the way. Still got the arrows in it. Still got his dog tags on there. Everything.
That was kind of cool.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. But the kids just keep getting in trouble because I brushed over.
No, we can still jump into it, back to it. So they're at Site 26, and then they see some people.
Yeah. They see some people, but that's the part that I kind of missed.
Yeah, I know.
So, okay. So the people that end up, stumbling across these kids is the Colonel and his old crew. And how this happened is kind of the same way Kiri happened, maybe. Probably not really, though. But so they took the technology of linking somebody to an avatar back to Earth, and they found a way to download memories and stuff from the avatar.
Isn't that just like that one show?
Which one?
You told me you liked it. I didn't like it.
Altered Carbon?
Yes, that one.
Right, with stacks and stuff like that.
Yep, that's the exact. Yep.
Well, I would say no until it showed the video log, and the guy had the freaking stack with the memories on it. Yeah. As soon as I saw that, I was like, come on now.
So they can pretty much make you never die.
Correct. Your memories will live on, and they can just regrow you an avatar and plant your memories into that. And so that's what they do to all these soldiers. And so they all come back as avatars, and they all go through the same thing Jake went through. They wake, or at least the Colonel does. He wakes up, he's freaking out. He sees avatars around him. And he's punching everybody, and they're like, "Hold up, dude! Like, it's us! Like, look at yourself. You're an avatar." And he's just like, that's crazy. Okay,
cool. Stronger, bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like the whole linking up thing again. How about you, Phil? What's about it?
It's different. I like the first interpretation of it.
What's the first interpretation?
When in the first movie where Jake was like in the machine and he can just like neurologically link up.
Yes.
That I get. Downloading a human's memories into the avatar.
Transferring. Yeah. Oh no, I guess it's not
copying.
Yeah. Paste.
Because you're not that person. They just have your memories and whatnot. It's a little weird and far-fetched in this one, but whatever. It
is what it is.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Colonel, after he's awake and calm, he's watching a video of himself. The real life Colonel had to make a video before he died just in case his death happened.
Yeah, no, I could see that. I just don't think he would, based on his old character, I don't think he would actually sit down and do that.
No.
I don't think he would have ever done that, and he would have let them download his memories.
Yeah, because he would have been like, I'm not dying.
Then how would he know Jake Sully was the issue? So he did that while he was on Pandora, halfway through chasing Jake Sully.
Yeah, so it must have been
right after Jake Sully turned. So at the very end, so he's like, oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Do this memory log real quick.
But with how much he hated Jake, like, I don't get how, right? Because it's not like he recorded it the day before he died.
Yep.
Right? So I doubt that anger towards Jake Sully was that high.
Yeah.
But how he's painting it to his avatar, because he's pretty much just giving his avatar the down low and being like, this is who I am. This is who you are. This is your mission. And our target is Jake Sully.
Yeah.
And I feel like before death, or even before, like days or weeks before death, he would have just been like, there's an annoying Jake. If you see him, maybe take care of him. But your goal is to get unobtainium, right? Because that's all his focus was. Clear out the Na'vi, break that tree down, because the unobtainium
they don't even need to clear him out.
No.
With unobtainium. They could just dig under.
They can, yeah, you can dig under.
With how they were doing it, they could just dig under. With technology we have in nowadays, you could just probably dig under.
Oh yeah, if you can send all that equipment to Pandora, you can definitely send a drill or digger or whatever.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Digger.
Yeah, and they sent 3D printing machines in this movie. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it in the building.
Yeah,
right. It was 3D printing steel or whatever that was. And
yep, that was really cool.
Yeah, but so gives them the lowdown, tells them your target's Jake Sully. Boom. All the avatars are like, yeah, okay, Jake Sully is our number one target. Let's go hunt these people and get rid of them. So fast forward. Okay.
Sorry, gotta pick something. We gotta pick something apart a little bit.
What do you got?
What are the odds that Jake Sully is the leader in command of the Na'vi, or of the Amat-Kala? Because he is an outsider.
Who's an outsider?
I understand that he saves them, kind of, quote unquote, but he's still an outsider, and they were so much tradition.
But he's also the prince because he married the princess.
But the prince, I understand that, but why?
And he has toll whatever.
Yeah. No, I understand that, but like you're talking probably thousands of years of tradition, and some outsider comes in.
Oh, true. Realistically,
like we won't even let the U.S. won't even let we wouldn't let Arnold Schwarzenegger run for president.
Yeah, unless you're born here.
Unless you're born here.
Yep. So that's very true, and they're way more prideful than we are.
Way more prideful about traditions.
Yep.
So and what are the odds that he's at? Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That's very true.
See,
you're not supposed to think about these things.
No.
Yeah,
but I do.
Just supposed to go with the flow. But yeah, so Jake's in charge now and whatnot. But yeah, so fast forward, the military avatars, the colonel and his crew are out seeking Jake Sully, but they stumble across his kids.
Pretty much, yep.
And so the colonel sees his old body in the exoskeleton, grabs the dog tags, picks up his own skull. And
should we have them brought back?
Just crushes his own skull. And I think that was a key moment because it kind of symbolizes like, yeah, I've got the memories I'm made of you.
But that ain't me.
But I'm not you. And I'm going to make my own decisions and stuff. And so I think that was kind of a cool little key moment in there.
Yeah.
But they're aware of the kids. They hold the kids hostage. And Jake and Neytiri end up coming in to save the day. Mm-hmm. That's the first part first time you get to see like kind of how like BA their parents are.
Yeah.
Like we know they can fight from the first movie.
Yep. But the kids don't.
The kids don't. And man, their shots are just deadly.
Yeah. She's so good with a bow, and he's good with everything.
Guns
else.
and
guns
everything.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you get to see them just destroy this military unit.
Yep. And this is the moment where Spider gets separated. I guess we can talk about it. So there's a moment while the kids are captive.
Yeah.
That the colonel is looking over at Spider because he's the only human, and he's just like, what's your deal? And so he says his name, and the colonel's like, whoa, wait a minute, you're Will or Mike or something like that. Says his human name.
I forget his name.
And
Miles,
yeah. And the kid's like, nobody calls me that. And and you can see the avatar, and he's just like, you're like the colonel's son. You're like, we have this bond. He plays it off like he has no connections or ties, like emotionally.
I mean, he might not at that moment.
Not at that moment, but he does remember, having that kid, raising
with
it.
Who? We don't know yet.
Don't know yet. Yeah. But yeah, so after Neytiri and Jake Sully come, they free the kids except for Spider gets separated and
falls down
a ravine and
gets picked up by them
and gets held captive, tortured with a weird device.
Very weird device.
Looked like an MRI machine.
Yeah, just a mental messed up machine that would just mess with your mind. But yeah, he gets captured, tortured, just to try to find information out about them and like their whereabouts and all that fun stuff. And he doesn't break, and then he kind of goes along with it.
Yeah.
For some odd reason.
Well, the colonel's avatar does say like, "Look, kid," tries to give him his father's dog tags. He doesn't want him, but he's like, "Look, kid. Either you go along with this, like let's go on a road trip, and you go along with this, or I'm gonna give you back to the scientists, and you're gonna be, dealing with that thing again." So he's like, "Okay, I'd rather get out of here."
Yeah.
And whatnot. But it's kind of weird that he already kind of switches sides in that moment. Like he doesn't think. I think he thinks the military guys are doomed no matter what.
Yeah.
Like I think he's thinking like I can lead you to them. They're gonna kill you,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll be free or whatever. But the kid does that. Like they ask him to lead them to where Jake Sully and the clan lives. And
Yeah.
he's just like, okay, sure, let's do
But
this.
he leads. Yeah, he. I mean, he could have brought him up to a trap, and he really didn't.
He didn't. Yeah.
Not at all, really. So I don't know.
He's an orphan kid, and he's just like, Daddy, you're an avatar
Kind
now.
of. You're kind of my dad.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as Sully and Neytiri, or as soon as Sully actually finds out that they have a spider, he freaks out, and he's like, "Hey, we gotta go."
Mm-hmm.
And
because he knows Spider knows all this. He knows where they live, how the Na'vi live.
yeah, and I don't know why the whole clan didn't leave. I understand they didn't want to move, but like
The
a kid that's lived with us for forever just got taken captive. They're coming for this spot because this is what they know,
Exactly.
and no one else left.
Nope. Jake was like convinced that they're not going to kill anybody else. They're just going to kill him.
That didn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
They're going to burn that place down looking for Sully.
Why wouldn't they? I know they don't have I know that they don't have like all the stuff like that. Why not just shoot all the if they know he's up in rocks? They said they were in this vicinity, you know how they're showing on their thing.
In the Hallelujah.
Why not
Mountain.
just shoot all the mountains?
Good. Just keep blasting them. Yeah. Well, I think
They don't have like
they don't have the resources. They do have ships and they do have
What do you mean
weapons.
they don't have resources?
Because they talk about like as they get close to where Jake lives, like the AWA signals the animals and stuff to take out their planes, and they're like
Okay.
every time we try to get close to it, we have casualties and stuff.
Okay.
So they don't want to fly over there. So that's why they're so excited about the Avatar, because they can slip past AWA's defenses, send them in on the ground, and
Gotcha.
they're not going to be
Okay.
attacked.
Good thing they don't have like stealth bombers or something like that, But whatever. That's besides the point.
Yeah. But so at that point, Jake is like, look, we all got to leave. We got to go find a new place to live, so that way the rest of the tree forest people can thrive and live on.
Yep.
So that's what they do. They pack up and they fly off. They're flying for a while until they come across the water tribe, which is, there's a lot of weird names, but these are the Metcayina.
Metcayans? Yeah. Metcayina.
Something like that.
Metcayina.
Yeah.
Sounds good out of our mouths.
And this is their new home. This is where they show up and they're just like, hey, can you take us in? We fled our place for safety. And these people are kind of like, well, if you fled, like, why don't bring your danger here? We don't want you.
And they look completely different.
Mm-hmm.
They have different tails. Their tails are a lot thicker.
They look like little paddles.
Yeah, like little paddles. Their arms are like web based, so you can move in the water. They're water forms.
More aquatic, yeah. The forearms are almost like wide, like paddles
yeah,
too.
so they look a little bit different. You can finally tell apart. They're a little bit light. I don't remember if they're lighter skinned or darker.
They're lighter.
They're lighter. Yeah, so they're just different in general. They stand out there, but they bring them in. They bring him in because it's like, why not?
Everybody's heard of Jake Sully, so the chief is well aware of him. And he's just like, look, Jake Sully's a good guy. We can bring in the family.
Yeah.
Just keep your issues out of our
baby
area.
mama drama.
Yep, out of our area. And so this is where the movie focuses heavily on. And this is where a lot of like the visual, like you can tell everything they've been working on and what they want to show you with technology and where it's come is in this place.
Yeah, this is where the underwater scenes start to get really cool because they don't really go underwater until this point. And just the fishes and all the movements and it looks so pretty.
You see new animals, the Tolkiens, the skimwings, and the elus. So much like those horses on Colby's
These
Cup.
ones that are from the second Avatar.
And
not the first.
And the flying animals and whatnot. There's a new set of all these animals that they're going to be learning and dealing with over here on the water side. So you have the elu, which are like strictly they're water eels, essentially, kind of. And it's perfect for kids or whatever. If you're learning how to ride these things, the kids and stuff start off on the elus. Then you have the skimwings, which they can be used for combat. They're kind of like they kind of reminded me of like an alligator gar.
An alligator that can fly
Yeah,
for
yeah,
short periods of time, like a flying fish alligator.
yeah. It can swim really fast and it can get out of the water and fly. And so you kind of get the best of both worlds. And then you have these Tolkiens, which are kind of like just water whales.
They're,
I mean,
they're whales.
Whales, yeah. I mean, whales
Whale
are always in
sharks.
water. But yeah.
Weird whale shark demigorgons.
Oh, yeah. They got demigorgon faces.
They got the quad openings.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Without the teeth, but yeah.
Yeah. So now they're here. They're trying to coexist with this new clan, and it focuses heavily on the struggles of the kids. It focuses heavy on the kids this whole movie, but the kids are trying to adapt to this new tribe, and other kids are picking on them, bullying them. They're not getting along with the Chiefs.
They have
kids.
5 fingers instead of 4.
Yeah.
They have skinny tails instead of thick ones.
Yep. And they think they're going to be useless and not being able to.
Which, yeah, I'd probably believe them too.
Yeah. So you get to see a lot of the underwater ecosystem in this part. And everybody kind of gets their own little animal. Jake Sully gets a skimwing, and the kids get elus. Except for the middle child, Loak.
Does that kind of... Yeah. This kind of reminded me of... yeah, he didn't get one, right?
Yeah.
Couldn't handle one.
Couldn't handle one.
This kind of reminded me of House of Dragon.
House of Dragon. Oh, the
Aemond.
Luke. Oh wait,
No, not Luke. Aemond.
Aemond.
How Aemond couldn't get a dragon, and then he got this huge dragon.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
it was Aemond.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Aemond couldn't get couldn't get the little dragon, so he got that big dragon. He couldn't get the little one. He went and finally got a big one after a while. But yeah, he did get one eventually. But yeah, it kind of reminded me of that, how he wasn't satisfied with the little one he wanted. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know. Just a side note.
They gave him a elu, but yeah, he couldn't master
He
it.
didn't. It took him a while, but he did eventually before he got the big one.
Oh, true. Yeah.
But it did. It wasn't right away.
Yeah, and it didn't suit him.
No, did not. He wanted bigger and better things.
So they get into a fight with the Chiefs kids because they're making fun of Kiri. Kiri's like this weird half breed that
Looking at sand.
looking at like literally inches away, staring at sand and stuff. But she's connecting to Awa and the planet and whatnot. But they're making fun of her, and Sully's two boys stand up to her, and they get into like this fight.
Send it to them.
To them, yeah, not to her. Sorry, stand up to them, and they get into this fight. So Sully's like, look, dude, I don't know how you do it, but you need to make amends. You need to say sorry or whatever. So he goes and says sorry to the chief's son. And the son is still being a little brat. He's kind of like, you know what? We should be friends. Let's go hunt.
Yeah, let's
Right?
go hunt outside the reef.
Outside the reef. Let's be big boys and go hunt outside the reef. And so they're tricking him, and they get him out there to go spearfish, essentially. And they tell him how to call for the spearfish, but they know that this is a hunting ground for like this. Yeah, it's
that's
such
how
a
you-
weird like. Yeah,
ASMR if you don't like that.
but there's like this shark thing that's out there, and they know it's out there. So as he's calling for the animals, all the boys flee without him noticing, and so he spearfishes, catches a fish, and that irritates the balance or whatever. It catches the attention of that shark, and now Loak is running for or swimming for his life from this thing.
This huge beast.
Yeah, it is massive.
I mean, it's a massive shark. It's a big shark.
and
Ish.
it's
not a shark, obviously, but
yeah, it looks small once you see the next creature, which is a Tolkien, and that thing just comes pummeling in, kills that thing, and then swims off.
but yeah, one of the weird things about this, so they have to get their lungs better for water.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a main part of this whole show, this whole movie is they have to build their lungs, keep swimming, getting lungs accustomed, learn how to breathe. So this is very early on.
The abdomen, slow the heart down so you can hold your breath longer.
Yep. And so while he's getting chased by the shark, obviously he's freaked out. It's not a shark. Sorry, it's not a shark.
That's the closest thing I can think of.
He's getting chased by it, and he's losing his breath. That's plays a big part into like he's freaking out, and then he gets stuck, and then he just like
Oh, that's right. Suffocates.
Kind of suffocating at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
We see a lot of that in this movie.
You do. You see it. You see people drowned a few times.
I'd keep those animals, those butterfly things, on me at all times.
I don't understand why they don't have them every single time they enter the water.
Because they have to let them do their own thing.
It's got to come to you like the little...
Yeah, like the little puffer things.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Loak gets saved by this Tolkien, and he's swimming away, or actually he's about to swim away, and passes out because of suffocation, and wakes up on the back of a Tolkien, and so he's bonding with this thing. He's trying to talk to it, doesn't know how to talk to it, but when he gets back home and he's telling people about this, they're like, whoa, like you can't talk to that Tolkien.
Not that one. He's a bad boy.
He's a bad boy. I know, that's what it felt like. They're like, that one's been cast aside by the other Tolkiens. So these Tolkiens can communicate to the Na'vi and whatnot, and vice versa. They can communicate to them. So the Na'vi know of the Tolkien's tales of the whales, how this specific Tolkien betrayed the rest of the group.
Macayans.
Yeah, because they were killers back in the day. They all agreed that... These whales all agreed that they're not going to kill anymore, and now they think that the one that was hanging out with Loak killed, so he's been shunned from the group. So they're like, yeah, don't talk to that whale. Don't even go near that whale. And but he's like, no. He's like, that one's an outsider like me. Like, we bonded. I don't think this one.
He protected me. He saved my life.
Don't think this one's a bad one. And so after that... the military guys... Oh, wait. So there's this interesting thing with Kiri that you're trying to figure out what her role is in this movie. And this is Sigourney Weaver's kind of like offspring a little bit.
This is a 70-year-old in the teenage body. Don't forget that.
Yeah, something's happening with Kiri. She really feels connected to the Earth, and she feels like she can almost hear Awa, and almost like she 100% feels her presence. But the kids, the princess is like, hey, can I show you like our version of your tree, which is underwater? So they swim down to this tree that's like Awa's heart or whatever, and Kiri gets to use her tail and connect to it. At this moment,
Not her tail. We found out.
Oh, not the tail. Sorry, the hair
thing,
the tail on her head, and she connects to it, gets like kind of transported into the Awa network. And she sees Sigourney Weaver, and they have like this little mother-daughter moment. And right when she can ask her, like, hey, what's my purpose? What am I doing here? Like, what does Awa want with me? They get ripped away, and Kiri starts having a seizure.
Yes. Yeah. So Kiri's a very interesting character in this.
She's very interesting.
We can kind of go into her a little bit if you'd like.
Sure.
I think so obviously she connects. All the fish surround her. Everything surrounds her. It's everything's drawn to her, and it's the reason I think it is because I think she is Awa.
I think so too.
A living form of Awa, and and the reason she had a seizure is she was getting too much information too fast. Her brain couldn't handle it.
I think so.
Yeah, as well. I think she will hook up again. I think it's going to keep...
Because Sigourney Weaver's character in the first one was 100% devoted to Awa.
Yep.
Like understanding it, making sure it was preserved and all that stuff. And so when she passed and her energy went to Awa, I'm sure that Awa felt that and was like, you know what, this is a good egg.
She got a pure heart.
Pure heart. And if I were to come back, I'm gonna use like her memories and stuff and make that happen. So I do think you're right. I think Kiri is Awa.
And here's my theory for the whole show.
Yeah.
Whole show right now. You ready for this?
Yeah.
What's their land called that they have it called? What's the whole
Pandora?
Pandora. Pandora is at the end of all these shows, they will not live on Pandora. I think her job, Kiri's job, survive and move all the avatars, all them to a different planet.
Maybe.
And she is the Awa. And when she dies, a tree pops up, and that is the Awa. She's the Awa. She is the Awa, and when she goes to somewhere, it could be Earth. She has to stop Earth.
Which would make sense because the Pandora keeps getting attacked, and so Awa feels threatened.
And they said that Earth isn't going to last long. I think they almost have to switch Earths.
Maybe. But I do think you're right. This is like a defense mechanism. It's almost like creating a backup of yourself. AWA's like, my network keeps getting damaged. I need to upload myself into something that can transport to another planet.
Yes.
Boom. I think Kiri is AWA.
Uh-huh.
Wow. And I think that is going to be how it ends. We're pretty close to the ending. Her becoming a tree.
Sorry, James Cameron.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. If it's true. I don't know. It could be wrong.
Is.
We'll find out in 2028.
Yeah. And I do think that Spider is going to be going down a Anakin Skywalker kind of story.
Spider, yeah, he's a different character. We can. So I think Spider is gonna. I think he's gonna go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
In the end,
he wants.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Sure.
I just quoted a song. I had nothing to do with anything.
Linkin Park. I got it. Yeah.
No, I got you. I think he's gonna have some battles of his own with his dad, and then Kiri, because he loves Kiri.
Yeah.
And he's gonna go. I just think he's gonna go down a dark path because I don't think he feels like he's. I think he's gonna start feeling like
she's pure good, and he's gonna be like pure bad.
He's not pure bad though. He has a good heart.
No, yeah, he's good.
He has a good heart, but he's gonna feel like an outsider in the Sullies because he's not an Avatar.
Yeah.
And he's
like Padme and Anakin.
Yeah.
Like he's going down a path she couldn't follow.
I agree. I agree. His dad's the bad guy.
Yeah.
Well, quote unquote dad. And he's gonna feel like an outsider with the Sullies. Yeah. The Sullies, because like obviously Neytiri doesn't like him. Yeah. She showed that in the whatever, we're not there yet, but yeah.
There's a moment in this movie that we'll get to that solidifies the stance. Okay. All right, so whatever. Yeah, so they're at the Water Tribe place and whatnot, and they're getting accustomed to everything. So now the issue is that after this seizure that we were talking about with Kiri, they get her to the surface and they call their buddy from the first movie, that like nerdy scientist guy.
Norm.
Is that his name?
No, that's his real name. I think he looks like a Norm.
Looks like a Norm. It is wow. Okay, it is Norm in this movie. Joel Moore is the actor, but
his name really is Norm.
Really is Norm.
I knew it. I knew it.
So yeah, they call her buddy Norm. He was like the lanky, nerdy scientist guy. He's also the guy from Grandma's Boy that's like, how can they see me?
Oh yeah, I remember. Right? I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Robot voice. And so yeah, they call him over. He comes in on a like a helicopter, whatever thing. And he's trying to treat Kiri, but she gets treated ultimately with like Navi medicine and ways and whatnot. Well, those things all have like black boxes, trackers, all that kind of stuff. So the military guys see this, and they see this this plane or whatever helicopter fly over, and then they lose the signal, but they can project the flight path. Yep. And it goes to these islands and not in the forest, and so they're like, okay, come on,
something's not right.
Yep, we need to go investigate. And that kid, the Spider, is kind of like, well, if you're gonna do this, we need to go get these flying animals. I hate that I'm drawing a blank on those things.
Yeah, those I know what I'm about.
Right? They are are they called the...
No, they're not called the flying animals.
No, like Ikrin or something.
Oh, Ikrin. Yeah.
Lenopteryx or something. Is it Ikrin?
Might be.
Oh man, all right, whatever. I know, right? It's bugging me.
I'll do it, Justin.
All right, you find that
while
I'm talking and whatnot. But essentially, those flying ones from the first movie, Spider's like, look, if we're gonna get all the way over there,
Banshees.
That kind of sounds right.
Yeah, they're Banshees. Ikran.
Mountain Banshees. Yeah.
Ikran. Ikran.
All right, so they need to get some Banshees and whatnot. So Spider's like, look, you have to bond with these things. Like, this is where they are, and go do it. He's kind of being a punk because he's not telling him exactly how to do it, but he's egging on his dad, like, because they come in with guns, like tranks and stuff, and they're going to tranquilize these things to get up to him, and he's just like, Sully did it with his bare hands.
And kids do it younger than you.
Yeah, kids younger than me do it, and the colonel's like, wait a minute, Sully did this? Like with his bare hands? And he's just like, yeah. And so two things here, like one, Spider's still trying to mess with them and maybe see what his dad's like made of. And then 2, you can really see that like the Colonel is like, look, Jake, who I think I'm better than, was able to master the Na'vi people and was able to do all these things with his bare hands.
Mm-hmm.
I'm better than him. I need to be able to do these things too.
Yep.
Right? And so he's like, fine. He did it with his bare hands, sets the trank down, and pretty much just wrestles with the Banshee over the cliff, and they think he's dead, but he mastered it and bonded with it. Yeah. So now they've got Banshees. They're flying over to these small islands and stuff, and they come across this ship that kind of takes them the rest of the way, and it's piloted by this. I love this moment because there's an actor here that I absolutely love.
I knew I recognized him. I didn't know how.
He's in so much stuff. So they land on this ship with Mick, the captain, and Dr. Ian Garvin, who's played by Jermaine Clement, who is the voice of like the crab on Moana and quite a few things.
That's where I recognize it from. I had to ask.
Flight of the Conchords, did a show on FX, Legion. He's done so many voices.
He did Moana. That's how I recognized him.
Yeah, he's got an iconic voice at this point. But yeah, what's funny though is like he does an American accent and the captain does like a New Zealand accent, and so it's kind of weird to see those roles.
I bet they enjoyed that.
Probably really fun.
They probably took, probably laughed at each other after.
Right? It'd be cool. He's such a funny character, but yeah. So they meet up with them and pretty much kind of take over the ship. And or at least calling the shots, and they're like, look, these island chains, we need to go find these people. We're looking for Jake and we just need to flush him out.
Yep.
And so now they're using this ship to do that, and they're interrogating island after island after island,
tribe after tribe after
tribe. Yep. And Mick is like, look, dude, I know you guys have your mission, but I also have a quota that's kind of paying this whole thing here, and I know this is going to lead into a gripe of yours.
Yep.
But he's like, we can look island to island, but we do need to start harvesting some of these whales.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Colonel gets an idea, and he's just like, okay, the Na'vi are all connected. They can feel this, or they'll be concerned of this if we're killing off these whales. The Tolkiens, he's like, let's do it. Let's go hunt these whales, and I'll set it up, and then you can do your gripe.
Oh, baby, love it.
So they show it. They find a Tolkien, and they shoot it with a tracking device, and then they go to this like elaborate thing to pretty much take this thing down because the shell is armor.
Yep. So they shoot it, they track it, then they get they shoot things to like make it so it can't hear underwater, and they'll go deaf if they go down there. So it comes up, and they keep shooting the sonic in their ears, so they're stuck,
disoriented, and can't do anything.
Go underwater with these submarines, shoot these
airbag things
under their fins
to make
them float. And then after that, they go underneath, shoot a gun, and it goes in it, and it blows them up.
Yep.
Pretty much from the inside out, but they still
like a projectile with an exploding tip on it, and then it blows up their chest cavity.
So that took like 30, 40 people to do all that.
Yeah.
Okay. 30, 40 people do all that. Okay.
I love it.
So then the next, after, they do all this elaborate stuff, they get all these, the mechanic things jump in the water, jump on the whale or the Tolkiens,
yeah, they anchor it off,
and then pretty much drag it to the boat. Yep. And then that's where they can actually do their harvesting.
So the doctor and the sea captain go inside the mouth, and they have Spider with them, or was it Spider? Yeah, Spider's with them, and they're drilling up through the roof of the mouth into the brain, and they're extracting this like gold fluid. And they're saying that this is the fluid that kind of gives the whales the kinetic ability.
This is what pays for everything. So they suck all the brains out, and it literally only amounts to this vial of stuff. And when they say this is what's paying for everything, this one vial, it took all these people, is worth $80 million. $80 million. Okay, let's start there for a second. We don't know what year this is.
It's like 2051.
2051. Yeah. Okay. $80 million. They just have this huge ship. Billion, trillion dollars probably. Because it flies and it goes in the water. Mm-hmm. And it does all this cool stuff.
Not to mention like all the people at the base itself, like railways, all this crap they've sent to Pandora.
So this is what's paying for this whole thing. Okay, so $80 million. It took them Yeah, 40 people to do just that one thing. They get the one thing. The stuff does anti-aging, so it makes you so you never age. That's cool in small doses. That is not worth 80. That's right now if you had that. Not in 2051. Elon Musk guaranteed buys that $4 billion. Done.
100%. You
give me that
tell them
$4
you
billion.
can have this serum and you'll live forever. People would be spending $1 billion.
It would be more than $80 million. Just start there. Just start there for a second.
Yep.
Okay. So my next issue, we actually did some research on this. So what they came to Pandora originally for was unobtainium.
Yep.
Unobtainium is very expensive. Unobtainium, we had to go watch it, is worth 20 million a kilo. No, 20 million a kilo.
Yep. Yep.
This stuff is, a kilo is not much.
Not much at all.
Kilo is 2.2 pounds, I think.
Yep.
So 2.2 pounds of a metal or some sort of a mineral.
Unobtainium, yeah, it's a metal.
2.2 pounds, so it's probably like this big, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Oh, probably.
We don't know how dense it is.
Depends how it's dense. Yep.
Yep. So that which they were still harvesting back at the main station.
Yep.
Is worth 2.2 pounds is worth 20 million.
Yep.
Okay. So doing all this elaborate stuff is worth 80 million for the whales, which there's only a finite number of them.
Oh, guaranteed. Just like Earth. I mean, there's only so many whales on Earth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't kill all the whales. Otherwise, they can't reproduce.
Yep.
What are they doing?
Yeah, there's no way you're going to pay for that whole trip and pay for your stay on Pandora for this 80 million a pop.
80 million a pop. It should be 80 billion a pop.
Yeah.
Or 80 trillion a pop.
Yeah.
Because even in the first movie, which was 15 years prior, roughly, whatever, they were getting 20 million a kilo for that stuff. Then they go backwards to go 80. I think they just think, 80 million is worth more than 20.
Right, the fans won't pick up on it. And
that is my biggest gripe is these whale hunting tours are not what's paying for this trip. They missed that. They missed it by a mile. I don't know why they'd even do that. I don't think it's worth it in general.
Nope. Yep.
I think there's a waste of money.
That's a side bonus, like hustle.
That is for pirates only.
Yep. Yep. You need to be there for the unobtainium or something else that's worth more in less volume.
Yes.
Yeah. But they're not harvesting unobtainium. At least it doesn't show it.
They don't. Well, it kind of has trucks going underground. In the city.
Yeah.
So if they still are trucks, big trucks, dump trucks, but they must not have $80 million on there. Not
right.
I don't know. What do we know?
It was weird the way it was worded and stuff because we know that is not why they're there, is to collect that.
That was James, do better.
Yep. Pay attention to the little details and stuff with how much money was spent on this movie.
$350 million.
Yep. And how much time and everything. Like, come on. Yep.
3 years of filming.
Yeah. You know what though? I will say, for $100 million more than a Marvel movie, which is $250, it looks way better.
It did on the underwater scenes, yeah.
Yeah.
But then again,
maybe Marvel should spend $100 million more on their movies.
That's true. They probably should have.
Yeah. But yeah, that was our gripe with that. And so they the problem with what they just did is so the people of this new tribe that we've been introduced into, the Metkayina tribe, is yeah, names suck with this movie.
They're tough.
Everybody in this tribe bonds with one of these whales, and the queen of the tribe, this is the whale that just got killed, is the one she bonded with. And so she's like, what the heck's going on? Like these sky people are butchering these ancient creatures and our sisters in the sea and stuff like that. At this point, Jake's like, look, they're kind of here for me. The reason why you guys didn't want me a part of your tribe, it's happening. Yep. And so they're coming after us. And so they're like, look, you got to deal with this. Like, you either go, or they're pretty much like, go, get out of here. And he's like, look, I'm the only one that can understand their thoughts, their motives, their ways. And he's like, look, as they put a tracker on the whale, let me know. I'll go out and defuse the tracker and, save the whales and whatnot. And so they're like, all right, saving the whales is better than kicking you out. You're a part of the group. Let's kind of go on the offense now to protect our home and these animals and whatnot.
Yep.
Well, lo and behold, the kids strike again.
Yeah, Loak. There he goes.
Loak, he's like everybody. So the chief and queen are like everybody who is bonded with a whale. Go out and tell your whale. Go and talk to your whale.
To run away.
To run away. That's so cheesy. And Loak's like, well, I got to go tell my whale. And they're like, no, you don't. You don't have to talk.
Your whale's an
to
outcast.
Yeah, don't talk to that one. And he's like, nah, I'm doing it. So everybody goes out, finds his whale, and they couldn't tell him because he's already been tracked.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying to rip out this tracker, having the hardest time. They radio back to Dad that, hey, this whale we're not supposed to find has been tracked, and we can see the sky people. They're kind of right next to us, chasing us.
It takes them a lot longer to get there than I thought.
Oh, the parents?
Yeah.
Took a while.
A long time.
Yeah, I didn't really show how far off the reef they were.
Yeah, I know. It just took them a while.
Yeah, I did. And so at this point, now the hunt is on because the colonel and everybody on the ship sees Sully's kids. He identifies Sully's kids, and he knows that they're close.
Yep.
Right? And so it's on. There's this whole elaborate scene of them like getting the thing out. And finally the parents show up and whatnot after this big long. Oh, I'm kind of glossing over a part. So they start their whole like. They have every intention to harvest this whale. So like they send out their submarine people to start doing the shooting and stuff with the airbags, and that's when they see that the kids are still nearby, and they shift gears to chase the kids.
Yep, chase the kids.
And they're chasing them through all the kelp, the weeds, all this stuff, and trying to snatch them up and whatnot. The daughter and Kiri get kidnapped.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Yep. And then
the boy gets kidnapped. Loak.
Loak. Yep. That's right. And so they take him onto this like boat that Colby was talking about that can fly and
its
sail.
worth must be like $81 million.
Right.
That way it is. Yeah.
They're off with how much stuff costs. Yeah. So now Jake.
Is that popcorn still good?
It's not bad. You want some?
No, I'm too thirsty.
Don't you have some in your drink?
Not really. This is
empty?
It's pretty empty. Yeah.
Oh man, mine's full.
I mean, I got this. I got the slushy, icy.
Ah, gotcha. But yeah, so now this is where the movie changes. All right, everything thus far has been retelling the story.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, look, like if you've seen Avatar 1, you already, without knowing it, have an idea of how Avatar 2 is.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same storyline. Like, look, they landed on Pandora, which they re-land in this movie. They're exploring Pandora. They find a resource that they want, and they use the military to try and get it. And then the Na'vi fight back.
Find a harder resource to obtain that's not worth as much.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it is per ounce, but I guess that's right.
And so it's the exact same storyline, just with new clans, bigger families, different people. But yeah, so this is the point where the movie changes. Everything has been showing you what Pandora looks like, how everything coexists, and nature and the network of AWA.
Yeah, the ways of the ways of the water.
Yep. And now it's a war.
Now it's military. Now it's military. Back to like almost exactly how it was in Avatar 1.
Yeah.
Just how they show you how the AWA works, and then at the end it's just
all out war.
All out war, and there's no.
And I gotta say, like, I wasn't getting bored, but I was kind of just going into autopilot after a little bit.
I was still waiting for the intermission. So I was like, oh, perfect! Right before the scene, we're getting intermission.
And it never came.
It never came. That's the thing about bear attacks. You never know when they're gonna come.
Right. Yeah, so this is the point where it changes. Everything becomes fast paced. It's all out war, battle from the sky, sea, everything. Jake and Neytiri show up, and they're with they got the whole support of that water tribe, and they're like trying to figure out how they're gonna take down the colonel. But the colonel's like, look, I want a one-on-one with Jake Sully. I've got your kid. Show up without everybody else, or I'm gonna kill them.
Yep.
And man, I'm so glad Loak had a bond with that whale.
Yeah.
Right? Because that whale sees what's going on, and he's like, He actually it shows him struggling because he's like, okay, I need to kill, I need to do something, and you can tell he's never actually done this. The reason why he's shunned, he shunned because they thought he killed.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't, and now he's having this inner conflict because he starts thrashing around in the underwater.
Yeah.
And finally, he's like, no, I got to protect that kid. So he breaches out of the water, bam, lands on the boat, and he's like whacking people off.
Yeah.
Right, just kind of being part of the team.
And they do say a couple scenes prior is that how smart these whales actually are, these tokens are.
Yeah.
How they're actually way smarter than humans.
Mm-hmm.
Could ever be. So like when he's fighting, he's not just thrashing around like you would think a whale would.
It's very strategic.
It's very strategic. He's hitting things. He's like slapping people. He's blocking it. Like
their foreheads are so thick that when like missiles and stuff are coming, he'll just do that.
And then they shoot certain things at him. He moves. I mean, he is like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix up in here.
Oh yeah,
just
dude, right?
Knows what he's doing. Yeah, so he's very sophisticated, and it was kind of cool to watch him like dodge a couple things.
Yeah,
and it was he pretty much saved the day, and you don't really hear that he saved the day. Like they don't like say, hey, thanks. No. He's probably still shunned.
Yeah, at that point, like he was the distraction, and everybody just starts joining in on this war. And the goal at this point is to save the kids, because not only with Jake and Neytiri's kids, they do have the princess up there,
chief's daughter. Chief's daughter.
Yeah. So it's in the best interest for everybody to get the kids back, and you get to see a fight from all the different animals that we were talking about earlier. How the Tolkien's fight. You get to see the Skimwings.
The Skimwings fighting was very cool.
Yeah,
I loved how they came out, jumped over, came back, or like they would throw things off. It was super cool how they. The one thing I didn't like though, when they were shooting at them in the water, I thought bullets could only like really affect you after like 6 feet in the water.
They were going a little too far in the water, but there was a couple scenes where they show that. So as they were like flying through, escaping, there were spots where the bullets were hitting the water and then just like starting to float back up.
I know, I get that, but I saw certain scenes, man, they were going like 12, 15, 20 feet down.
Pretty deep.
And I was like, that's really far.
Yeah. Water would slow a bullet way down, way quicker.
Maybe different in Pandora.
Right. I mean, the air's different, so maybe the water's also different. Yeah. But yeah, no, this battle. Everybody's trying to get the kids back. They start winning, they start losing. Kiri, you get to see some moments of Kiri in this kind of get a little more connected to Awa. Well, that's kind of post this, but
what, when she gets the tentacles to stop him?
Yeah. That was a cool scene.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. She is Awa. I don't really care. She is Awa.
Yeah. She controls the network.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't really know, like, what like, I don't want to break down the fight piece by piece, but like, what were some moments that stood out to you during the
just
fight?
The Tolkien like jumping and blocking was really cool, and how he was so smart and like knew when to attack and where to attack and stuff like that. The Skimwings, is that what they were?
The Skimwings, yeah.
Skimwings, watching them fight was really cool. The Tolkien pretty much saved the day, 100%.
And he even got payback.
Yeah,
because he lost one of his wings to this same ship, right? You know what part?
Yeah, I do. And that was pretty gruesome. That was pretty cool in 3D. Not gonna lie, when his arm's flying off in 3D, that's pretty dang cool. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, it was so funny because Tiff looked over at me when his arm was on the cable, and she's like, are they really gonna chop an arm off in 3D? And then like right as she says that, boom, arm goes flying in 3D, and yeah.
So that was really cool. There's a lot going on this long scene. After though. So it's over, after a while. It's a big fight scene.
During this, though, did you feel like you were kind of rewatching Titanic? Or is that
that's after? That's after.
Okay.
That's after, yeah. I did, though. The one gripe I have about the battle scene...
Oh, yeah. What's up?
...is after they pretty much dominate the Metkayans, they all leave.
Yeah, it doesn't even show them leave. They just disappear.
They just leave. Yeah. They don't wait for the job's finished. They don't make sure the princess is saved.
No.
They just leave.
Because she's still there the entire time at the battle site.
And the Tessera and they're just gone. Like no one, they just leave.
The last time I saw them was right before that ring of fire exploded on the water surface. The gasoline that was on the surface of the water ignited. Last time I seen those people. But they're on skim wings. They can go over it.
They can go over it. So that's a little gripe of mine too.
Yeah.
I thought they would actually be there protecting their princess and not fleeing after this.
Maybe they ran out of money for CG and they were like, okay.
350 million, they're out.
They're out.
I don't know. Yeah, so I thought that last battle shouldn't have ever taken place because there was only like, 10, 15 soldiers left.
Yeah.
And there was hundreds of the skimwingers and Metkayans. And so that's a gripe too. Still liked it. But they have that on that. Still like the battle scene, everything like that. I just thought that was overlooked.
Yeah. And you're seeing the struggle because Spider's still captive and he's trying to help his friends from the inside.
Should be like
ship.
20 to 1 ratio, but whatever. Not the point. Not the point.
Yep. So the battle happens and whatnot, and essentially, it's. I don't really want to, because there are key moments where I want you to watch the movie and not have us spoil it. But something happens with one of Sully's sons, and it puts the Colonel at an advantage, but really a disadvantage because this sets a flame in Neytiri and
Mostly Neytiri.
Mostly Neytiri.
She's crazy.
I think Sully just slips into like this military mode where he's just like, I got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
And Neytiri's just seeing
She's
red.
brutal.
Yeah. She's like, don't touch my child. I'm going to murder you. And she just goes full like assassin mode.
And that's kind of what she did with Spider. Makes me think that she made a mistake.
Yeah. There's this moment where the Colonel has the daughter, I think.
Tuka?
Yeah, Took. With a knife blade to her neck. And
no, it was Kiri.
Oh, it was Kiri.
It was Kiri.
Yeah, it was Kiri. So he has Kiri at knife point and whatnot, and he's just like, come any closer, I'm going to cut her throat. He's like, I just want to fight Jake with no weapons. And so she sees Spider. Spider's escaped at this point, and she knows that that's the Colonel's son. And so she grabs Spider, same thing, knife, and she's like, I'm going to kill him. And the Colonel's like, that's not my kid. I have no ties to that kid. Go for it. And so she is like putting the fear of God in this kid. Like she's like, I'm gonna kill him, blah blah blah. And so like to show she means something serious, she like grabs that dagger and just slices Spider's chest. And she's like, I'm gonna do it. The next one, he's dead. And at that point, the Colonel has some feelings for his son. He's got the memories of this kid, so he's gonna care. And that's the moment we're talking about where this might have created a anti-hero story arc for Spider.
Yeah, and if she would have went up to him and say, hey, this is all pretend, she doesn't. She holds a knife to his throat. That is not your family.
Nope. Right? You already feel like an outcast. Now you're definitely an outcast.
Yep. And I don't want to compare it. I'm going to compare it really quick. I'm going to compare it. Here we go.
Do it.
He's like Jon Snow. And that's like and that's like the mom who hates him.
Yeah.
The dad likes him because he knows. I don't know, not knows, but yeah, the dad,
Yeah,
brings him in.
Yep.
Holds him, brings him clothes after. The mom just doesn't like him because it's not hers.
Wow. It is kind of like it. Yeah.
Okay.
He's like Ned Stark, and he's just like, no.
Catherine. I couldn't remember her name.
Wow. So Spider is Jon Snow.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And so this and there never was a moment where they were like, look, we just had to do that to get Kiri back, and maybe Neytiri assumed he would understand that, but I don't think he does.
I don't think he does either. I think he's too young. I just don't think he's thought about it yet.
No.
When he does is when his arc's going to change.
Yep. Exactly.
And because he already has compassion for people, but when people don't have compassion for him, I think it's gonna be tough. Because I think he loves everyone. I think he loves the kids. I just don't think he likes Neytiri.
No,
and she makes him feel like an outsider. And
at that point, he truly felt like he was a part of the family and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah. So what ends up happening here is so they've done so much damage to the ship, and I'm only bringing this up because I really want to talk about Kiri and where she could go. So the ship ends up breaking up. Oh, okay, ship ends up breaking apart, ends up going up on its side and then flipping over. But while this is happening, the battle continues inside the ship, and everybody's starting to get trapped in these little compartment rooms and stuff. Water's flooding in, and now there's no way you can watch this movie. If you've seen Titanic, there's no way you're not going to compare this moment with Titanic. Felt very much like it. They were trying to get through doors, certain doors they couldn't open because the water was rushing in. They're struggling at the surfaces of everything to try and get air.
One more breath.
Right, they're going down levels, up levels, and it's just like, I see what you're doing, James Cameron, because he directed Titanic.
Did he really?
Yep. He did Titanic, so that's
that makes sense.
Yeah.
We got this boat we need to use.
Yeah, it was very much like Titanic, and so you got Tuke and Neytiri stuck together, and then you have Jake with the
Colonel.
The Colonel, but he's with
Loak.
Yeah, it would be Loak. Yeah, he's with Loak. He's with Loak, and they're because I don't want to. There's a moment. There are key things I am trying to leave out because you gotta go watch the movie.
You have to.
But there's a moment where they kind of defeat the Colonel, and Spider has a change of heart. So he's searching for Jake, because they've been underwater for so long that there's no way that they could breathe anymore. They know they've probably suffocated. Loak finds his dad and gets him to an area where he can have some oxygen. And while they're searching, Spider finds his dad, and Jake and the Colonel were seizing underwater. Or not seizing, but convulsing because their bodies are just wanting air. Instead of letting him die because he's done all these terrible things, he saves him. So there's a part of him that does want this guy to be his dad.
Yep. Because he wants to know. He just wants to know.
He already got cut on the chest from Neytiri. He doesn't feel like he's a part of that family anymore. He's like, maybe this isn't the family I chose, hit the Colonel, but maybe this is the family that I'm stuck with, or, could be my real family. And so he does. He brings him to the surface, gets him to breathe again. And as soon as the Colonel's like, hey, let's go, son. Let's go back to base and regroup. He kind of does that whole like hisses at him and flees.
Like a kitty cat.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a kitty cat. So he is conflicted. He doesn't want his dad to die, but he also doesn't agree with the decisions he's doing.
Not yet. He's still thinking. He's still pondering his decision. I bet you after that, when he actually comes to the Sullies and sees that, all that stuff, and then doesn't really get greeted, like I said earlier, I think that's gonna start messing with his head and like, who am I really? Where's my true family?
Yeah, he's gonna be a problem. I think there's gonna be a lot of self-exploration in the next movie.
But I don't think it's his fault either.
No, he's an orphan, and he's not. A kid needs to feel like they're a part of a family, and when you grow up not a part of this, not a part of that, like, it's gonna mess with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think he's gonna have a good story arc, and then at the end, we'll see.
Yeah, one will be a tree, and one will be probably killed.
He's gonna know. He's gonna be a tree.
Yeah.
He's gonna know. He's gonna be an avatar. He's gonna be an avatar.
Oh, maybe.
He's always want to be with. He's always want to be with Curie. So Curie is AWA. She's gonna be able to transfer his body.
Maybe. Hopefully, maybe that's like the final scene of the whole thing.
No, I agreed.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna turn into a main character, and all that stuff. Loak's gonna be a main character. Yeah, of course.
That'd be cool.
They can probably kill off Sully here soon. Ugh.
That's what I'm nervous about, man. You got 5 movies coming up. The second movie, the kids are already like teenagers and whatnot. The next movie, the kids are going to be older. At some
Not
point,
much older though, because the base is already established.
Sure. But I do feel like that is kind of the move that they're making, is they're going to phase out Neytiri and Sully, which is going to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like House of the Dragon, where the kids quickly grow up and then they're...
Yeah, I mean, I guess we haven't seen what contracts they signed, Neytiri and Jake Sully.
Sure. See if they're part of all 5 movies.
Exactly.
Sorry for the yawning. It is literally 1:30 in the morning, but we're doing this for you guys.
He was like, he's like, are you sure you want to film? I'm like, yep. Yep, we have to, because there's like no other time to do it. Like,
yeah.
So no, we had to do this.
But yeah, there's a beautiful ending scene. I don't know if
You gotta watch. No, you gotta watch the
Yeah.
ending scene. What your thoughts on it were? I know we had some crazy theories on this episode, but what would you rate the movie out of 10?
Out of 10.
Or out of 100. I like doing 100 because you can get more specific.
Yeah, so let's do 2. I'm gonna give it 2 ratings.
Okay. I know.
A cinematic adventure, like visually stunning, everything. I'm gonna give it like a 95.
Okay.
Or maybe even 99. Because I've never seen a movie more beautiful and immersive than this one.
Mm-hmm.
Storytelling wise and all that kind of stuff, I do got to give it like a 40 or a 35.
That was kind of like the same one gripe with the first one though too.
Yeah.
I think he definitely works more towards the visual aspects than the story aspects.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, but I'm with you. I thought the visual parts, there were certain parts that were really cool that we haven't seen before. The water scenes are beautiful.
Yeah.
They are worth seeing in 3D.
I think so.
The story is a little. There's a lot of holes.
A lot of holes, and it's no different than what we've already seen in Avatar.
Yeah, I
1.
mean, we could have guessed kind of what happened. Well, I guess not really, but yeah, kind of.
We could have 100% guessed the key points, like why, like we could have guessed that, like what the plot's gonna be and what the issues are gonna be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So it was good. I'd probably give it more than the 40. You know,
sure.
probably like a 56.
Yeah, but if you average my 2, it still makes for a good movie.
Yeah, it was good. I'd recommend seeing it definitely in 3D, just because you have to.
Yeah,
You got to go big or go home. That's our motto here.
this movie was made for 3D. Go see it in 3D.
But other than that, the gripes. Yeah, the gripes are the gripes. You know.
Every
Sure.
2 years, we're gonna get another one.
Yeah. Is it every 2? I thought it was every year.
I thought it was gonna be every year, but it looks like it's gonna be
Those
every 2 years.
nutcrackers.
I know.
James.
Yeah.
When he's
So there's 5 total movies.
5 total, including the first one.
Yeah, including the
Okay,
first
so
one.
only 4 more. 3 more.
3 more. So every 2 years until 2028, there will be a movie.
Crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
They've already finished 3.
I thought they finished 3 and 4.
4. They're almost. I was looking it up. They're almost done with 4, and then they'll start working on 5.
Nice. Cool. All right.
Oh man, that's crazy. They're pumping them out quick. But yeah, no, that was our kind of just giant overview. This was a long episode. If you're still here hanging out with us, thank you so much. Thanks for talking nerdy with us. Definitely hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. And hit that bell notification.
Help us hit that 100 subscriber mark by the end of the year. It's really what we want to see, that number, beautiful number of 100.
Let's see it grow.
So tell your grandma, not your grandpa. This is a grandma movie, not a grandpa movie. And because look at this adorable little animal I got. He got an ugly one. I got a cute one.
I got a skim wing. This is a skim wing.
This is just adorable.
They
Doesn't matter.
Jump out of the water and they fly.
This just uses all 4 legs and runs on land. So. 6 legs. 6 legs and runs on land.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, no, thanks for talking nerdy with us. We're probably going to talk a little more about Avatar as time goes by. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Peace.
Peace.